Okay, so let's have stage 7.
Yay!
777?
Yay!
Yeah, my lucky number 7. Yeah, that's my birthday though, right? So anyways, let's start with this. I'm gonna open your book. Are you ready?
Okay.
Good. I like this. Okay, ready? Get it. So do you like to see two cars racing each other along the road? Do you like to see two cars racing each other along the road? Yes, no?
No,
I don't like
I
to
don't
see
like
two
to see
cars
two cars
racing each
racing
other
each
along
other
the
along
road.
the road
Why not? Why not? Because it's too
because it's too
dangerous.
dangerous.
Could you race me to the station and back without stopping? Could you race me to the station back without stopping? Yes, I could
Yes, I could
race you
race you
to the
to the
station
station
and
and
back without
back without
stopping.
stopping.
Should a good driver, guys. If you run against a horse, for example, in a race, if you run in a race against a horse, who'd win? If you ran in a race against a horse, who'd win? If I ran in
If
a
I ran in
race
a race
against a
against the
horse,
horse
the horse
to
do win.
win. It
Yeah.
might be me.
I don't know if I get to like. Let me try.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
make it.
remember.
Ah,
Yeah,
my voice is
yeah.
back. All right.
I can win if
Wow.
it's you.
I'm not a horse, okay? I'm a pony. Not the horse, I'm a pony. So she accepted. Terrible. Another. So if do you think? Yeah. Hello. Do you think that when a man murders someone, he really realizes what he's doing at the time, really, or realizes the consequences of his actions? Again, do you think that when a man murders someone, he really realizes what he's doing at the time and realizes the consequences of his actions? Yes, no?
Yes,
I think
I
that when a
think
man
that
murders someone,
when a
murders
man
someone,
murders someone,
he really
he
realizes
really
that
he really
realizes
that
what he is doing at the
what he's
time
doing at the time.
and realizes
I
the
realize the
consequences.
consequences.
Realizes the
Realizes the
consequences
consequences
of his
of his
actions.
actions.
Consequences. Open your mouth. You can do it. Again, did you realize that in some large cities in the world there are more rats than people? Did you realize that in some large cities in the world there are more rats than people? Yes, no.
Yes,
Yes, I
I
realized that
realize that
in some
in
large
some
cities
large
in the
cities
world
in the world,
there are more rats
there are
than
more
people.
rats than people.
When I came here, I couldn't see anymore. So
Mm.
far, they used to be my best friends, you know. Okay, have you got an ambition? Have you got an ambition? Yes, no. Yes, I've got an ambition.
Yes,
Yes, I've
I've
got an
got an
ambition.
ambition.
What's your ambition? What's your ambition? My ambition
My
is
ambition is
to become a
to
Callan
become a
teacher.
Callan teacher.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, do you think you'll ever realize your ambition? Do you think you ever realize your ambition? Yes, I
Yes,
think
I think
I'll
I'll
realize my
realize my
ambition.
ambition.
Why?
Why?
Why? Because I'm working on it.
Because I'm working on it.
Yep. Again, listen to me. When the past tense of a regular verb ends in DED or TED, how do you pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb ends in DED or TED, how do you pronounce the final sound? When the past
When the
tense
past
of
tense of
no,
the
past
past
tense
tense
of
of
a
a
regular
regular
verb
verb
ends in DED or
and
TED,
D
DED,
D D O T
what DED or
D or
TED,
T E D.
we pronounce
We
the
pronounce the
final sound.
final sound.
It.
It.
Yeah, I need to put ED because of the sound, right? I did hello. Give me some examples, please. Give me some examples. This is included,
Included,
lasted,
lasted,
etc.
etc.
See, that's why I need to do TED or TED. Another with the past tense of a regular. You know, I guess that feeling when your tongue already twisted inside. When the past tense of a regular verb does not end in deed or td or let's say dead or ted, how do you pronounce the final sound? When the past tense of a regular verb does not end in deed or ted, how do you pronounce the final sound? When the past
When the
tense
past
of
tense of
what a regular
a
verb
regular verb
does not end
does
in
not end
deed or
in
ted,
D D or T D.
yes, again, dead or ted, we
Did or Ted,
pronounce
we
the final
pronounce the
sound
final sound.
or
T,
right, that's correct. You're gonna say the
d,
that's why I need to say DED or TED, right? So give me some examples. Just give me some examples, please. Crossed, seemed,
crossed, seemed,
etc.
etc.
Yep. So another, what does the verb to lead mean in Japanese? What does the verb to lead mean in Japanese? The verb to
The
lead
verb to
means
lead means
what
michimiku
in
in
Japanese?
Japanese.
Okay. And then, what was the other one? Oku, what was that?
Huh?
Oku,
Oku?
oku, what was that?
What was the word?
Oku,
I
what?
forgot.
Oh, yeah.
設置する set.
Set. Okay.
Yeah.
She changed it. Okay. Yeah, you're safe. Another. What are the three forms of lead? What are the three forms of lead? The three forms
The
of
three
lead are
forms of lead
Leader.
are lead, let.
leader. Yes, that's correct. Lead. Another. If I travel north along the main road of leading out of this town, where would it lead me to? If I traveled north along the main road of this town or out of this town, where would it lead me to? If you traveled north along the main
road
leading out of the town,
leading out of the town,
it'll lead you to
it'll lead
Mactan.
to you
To
to
Mactan.
Mactan.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, disagree. Yeah. So search for me, guys. Where am I now? Again, another. If it were nighttime and very dark, and we came to an old house standing alone in the country, which we thought might be full of ghosts, would you be willing to lead the way into the house? Again, if it were nighttime and very dark, and we came to an old house, standing alone in the country where we thought might be full of ghosts, would you be willing to lead the way into the house? Yes, no. No. If it were nighttime.
If it were nighttime
and very dark. And we came to an old house. We came to an old house.
We came to an old house.
Standing alone in the
country.
In the country. And which we thought might be full of ghosts. I wouldn't be willing to lead the way.
I wouldn't be willing
to lead
away
into the house. Why not? Because
I'm scared of you.
You never change your answer. Oh, Becky. So cute ghost. You're like, oh, the ghost cannot fly. Why it's so heavy? So sad. Another, would you say you'd led a fairly comfortable life? Again, would you say you'd led a fairly comfortable life? Yes, I'd say.
Yes, I'd say.
I'd led a
very comfortable life. Fairly comfortable life.
Yep. Okay, what about this one? So when we are talking about the future, what do we use the word eventually? Again, when we are talking about the future, what do we use the word eventually? When we are talking about the future, we use the word eventually.
We use eventually.
We use the word eventually.
We use the eventually.
We use the
word eventually.
When we know that something
is
going to happen. But we don't know when. Give examples. I will eventually be able to speak English.
Very well.
No. Again, will it eventually rain again? Yes, it'll eventually rain again. When we don't know. It's very hot here in the Philippines, actually. Whew, amazing. Hey guys, summer feels another. If you had a car and you didn't take care of it, what did eventually happen? If you had a car and you didn't take care of it, what did eventually happen? If I had a car and I didn't take care of it,
and I didn't take care of it,
it'd
eventually break down.
Yep. When a car breaks down, are you any good at making it go again? Again, when a car breaks down, are you any good at making it go again? Yes, no? No, when a car breaks down.
When a car breaks down.
I'm not any good at.
I'm not any good at making
it go
again.
Yep. So do you think mobile phones will all eventually have touch screens? Again, do you think that mobile phones will all eventually have touch screens? Yes, I think mobile
phones
will all eventually
have touch screens.
Hologram in the future. Another, so when we are talking about the past, what does the word eventually mean? When we are talking about the past, what does the word eventually mean? When we are talking about the past, the word eventually means.
The
word
eventually means.
After all that. Or in the end. Give an example. He lived in different
countries.
For many years. But eventually bought
a house
in
England.
Yep. Do you have to supply your own pen and paper for doing dictations, or does the school supply with them? Do you have to supply your own pen and paper for doing dictations, or does the school supply you with them? I have to supply my own pen and paper for doing dictations. Yep. Do you know where that town gets its water supply from? Do you know where that town gets its water supply from? No, I don't
I
know.
don't know
Where this
where
town
this town
gets its water
gets
supply
its
from.
water supply from. Supply from.
Yes, she got it, guys. No need to correct. She did it. Again, and if you put a piece of iron onto water, would it float? If you put a piece of iron onto water, would it float? No, if I
No,
put a piece of iron
if I put a piece of iron
onto
onto
water,
water,
it wouldn't float.
it wouldn't float.
It did
It'd sink.
sink. Yep, it did sink. Another what are the three forms of sink? What are the forms of sink? The three forms
The
of sink
three
are
forms of sing are
sink, are
sink,
are
sing,
sink, sunk.
sang, sunk.
Yep. So what did Titanic sink? What did Titanic sink? The
The
Titanic
Titanic sank in 1912.
Oh,
Yay!
you are the captain. You are the captain, so that's why. No, I'm not like an anti-aerial. Like another. Do clouds float across the sky when it's a very windy day? Do clouds float across the sky when it's a very windy day? No, clouds
No,
don't
clouds
float
don't float
across the
across
sky
the sky
when it's a
when
very
it's
windy
a
day.
very windy day.
They race
They
across the
race
sky.
across the sky.
Yep, so give an example me of the expression to be on the safe side again. Give an example of the expression to be on the safe side. Let's catch an
Let's catch
earlier
an
train
earlier train
to the
to
airport
the airport
to be on the
to
safe
be
side.
on the safe side.
On the
On the
safe
safe
side.
side.
Yep, they always get an umbrella in winter just to be on the safe side. They always get an umbrella in winter just to be on the safe side. No, I don't always.
Yes. Yes.
You
I
do.
do have.
You didn't. You have, but you don't carry.
What?
We're arguing, guys, for her answer. Okay. Yes, I
Yes,
always
I always
carry an umbrella
carry an umbrella
in winter
in winter.
just to be on the
Just
safe
be on
side.
the safe side.
Yes. Okay, fine. She conquered me. It's her class. I'm her teacher. No. Okay, anyways, of course, guys, look, Another, do you think that one day me in the future one country will conquer all the others? Do you think that one day in the future one country will conquer all the others? Yes, no.
No,
No, I don't think that
I
one
don't
day
think that one day
in the
in the
future
future
one country
one
will
country will
conquer
conquer
all the
all the
others.
others.
Maybe some right, but not us in. Okay, another. So, what is the difference between high tide and low tide? What is the difference between high tide and low tide? The
The
difference
difference
between
between
hmm? The difference
the
between
difference between
the connection, the difference
the
between high tide and
difference
low tide.
the difference
Between
between
tide and
a
low
high
tide.
tide and a low tide.
What's a high tide? Between high tide and low
High
tide.
tide and low
And what?
tide
Yep, is that
is that
high tide is
high tide
when
is when
the sea
the
comes
sea
into the
comes
land,
into the land,
and low
and
tide
low
is
tide is
when it goes
when
out
it goes
away,
out the way,
out away
out of the way
from the land.
from the
From the
land.
land. Yes. What do you like? What do you like? Again, did the Greek Empire come before or after Roman Empire? Yeah, my ancestors. Did the Greek Empire come before or after the Roman Empire? The Greek
The
Empire
Greek
came
Empire came
before the Roman
before the
Empire.
Roman Empire.
Yep. So, who do you think is the greatest literary figure of today in your country? Who do you think is the greatest literary figure of today in your country? I think
I
Haruki
think
Murakami
Haruki Murakami
is the
is
greatest
the
literary
greatest
figure
literary figure
of today in my
of
country.
today's in my country.
Today in my
Today in my country.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, no one's perfect, guys. Again, how is your country governed? How is your country governed? My country
My
is
country
governed
is
by
governed by
a democratic
a democratic
kind of system.
kind of
Which one?
system.
Okay, my country is governed by a
Country,
democratic.
my
Is
country is
governed
governed
by
by
democratic
democratic
system
system
of
of
government.
government.
Yep, comment down below, guys. What is that? Okay, another example. Survival of the fittest. Okay, what is the difference between a few and few? What's the difference between a few and few? The
The
difference
difference
between
between
a few
a
and
few
few
and
is
few
that
is that
a few
a
simply
few
means
simply means
not many,
not many,
whereas few
whereas
often
few of
expresses
often
often
expresses
expresses the idea of not
the
enough,
idea of not
not
enough,
idea of not
idea
enough,
of not enough,
or fewer than
or fewer
expected.
than expected.
Oops, me. What do we mean if we say that there were few people at the party last night? What do we mean if we say that there were few people at the party last night? If we
If
say
we say
there were
there
few
were few
people
people
at the party
at a
last
party
night,
last
I
night,
mean that
we mean that
there weren't enough
there weren't
people
enough people
at a party,
at a party.
or that there were few people,
Uh,
or that
or that
there were few
there were
people, fewer people.
fewer people
Yep, than we had
than we
expected.
had expected.
Yep, that's correct. Another, would you feel sorry if someone who said that they had few friends? Again, you feel sorry if someone said that they had few friends. Yes, I'd feel
Yes, I
sorry.
feel sorry.
I'd feel
I'd
sorry for
feel sorry
someone
for someone
who said
who
that
said that
they had
they
few
had few
friends.
friends.
Yep. So me, would you feel sorry for someone who said that they had a few friends? Again, would you feel sorry if someone or for someone who said that they had a few friends? No, I wouldn't
No,
feel
I wouldn't
sorry
feel sorry
if
if
someone
someone
or for
or
someone
for someone
who said that
who said that
they had
they
a few
had a
friends.
few friends.
Yep, few
Few
friends.
friends.
Yep. In that town, are there a few good restaurants? A few good restaurants, or many good restaurants? Again, in that town, are there a few good restaurants? A few good restaurants, or many good restaurants in this
In this
town?
town,
There are
there are few
good
good
restaurants.
restaurants.
They must be good, right? Because it's only few. Anyways, another. So just a moment, me. I'm gonna be charging my laptop because you may be gone in a few
Oh,
moments. See, you can see that I'm loading. That's why, guys, because I'm already low battery. I'm low battery. Okay, another. So what do I mean if I say that? Did we have already this one? Not yet, right? So what is the difference between a little and little? What is the difference between a little and little? The
the
difference
difference
between
between
a
a
little and
little
little
and
is
little
that
is that
a little simply
a little
means
simply means
not much,
not much,
whereas little often
whereas little
expresses
often
little
little
little often
often
expresses
expresses
the idea of
the
not
idea of
enough
not enough
or less than
or less
expected.
than expected.
Yep. So what do I mean if I say me that I have little milk in the fridge? What do I mean if I say I have little milk in the fridge? If you
If you
say
say
you have
you
little
have
milk in
little
your
milk
fridge,
in your fridge,
you have
you have
little
little
milk
milk
in your
in your
fridge.
fridge,
Fridge. You mean that
you mean that
you don't have
you
enough
don't
milk
have enough milk
in your
in your
fridge.
fridge.
I have no fridge, guys. That's why I only order. Well, like
Rich.
me. Not really. No, I don't buy CDs and DVDs like you. Again, do you think that you have a little free time, or a lot of free time? Again, do you think you have little free time, little free time, or a lot of free time? I think I
I
have.
think I have little free time.
Yes. Sad. Sorry, my mouth reacted. Before, guys, she had a lot, but now no more. She's busy person now. Wow. Okay, this time I'm gonna be pressing my thumb on the table because you are busy. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're pressing
You're
your
pressing
thumb
your thumb
on the
on
table.
the table.
Okay, another, what does this sentence mean? I had to press him for the money I had lent him. Again, what does this sentence mean? I had to press him for the money I'd lent him. That sentence
That
means
sentence
that
means that
I had to
I
keep
had to
asking him
keep asking him
for it back.
for it back.
Yep, can we always believe everything we read about news, famous people in the press? Again, can we always believe everything we read about famous people in the press? No, we can't
No, we
always
can't
believe
always believe
everything we read
everything
about
we read about
famous people in the
famous people
press.
in the press.
Yep. Do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people? Again, do you think there should be some control over what the press writes about such people? Yes, I
Yes, I
think
think
there should be
there
some
should be some
control over
control over
what the press writes about. What the press
what a press
writes about
writes about
such people.
such people.
Yep. And about, for example, only about how many steps would you have to take to walk from one end of that room to the other? About how many steps would you have to walk or to take to walk from one end of that room to the other? I'd have to
I'd
take
have to
about
take about
how many
10
steps
steps
to walk
to walk
to walk from one
from
end
one
of this
end
room
of this room
to the
to
other.
the other.
You guys, it's just five something. Yeah, 5 seconds. Okay, another. So, what might happen if you stepped off a bus while it was still moving? What might happen if you stepped off a bus while it was still moving? If I
If
stepped
I
off a
stepped
bus
off a bus
while it was still
while it was
moving,
still moving,
I might.
I might fall.
Correct. Okay, another. Do you have to walk up any steps to enter the building? Do you have to walk up any steps to enter the building? Yes, I have
Yes,
to
I have to
walk up some
walk some
steps.
walk up
Walk
some
up some
steps
steps to enter this
to enter
building.
this building.
Yep, would it be a big step for you to go and live in another country? Again, would it be a big step for you to go and live in another country? Yes, it'd be a
Yes,
big
it'll
step
be a big step
for me to
for
go
me
and
to
live
go
in
and live in
another country.
another country.
Yep, if a couple go to a restaurant together, do you think they should each pay half the bill? If a couple go to a restaurant together, do you think they should each pay half the bill? Yes, no?
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 Yes?
If a couple? Oh, which
If a
one?
couple,
Which one? Yes or no?
it's okay, I can pay.
I told you guys. Oh my
But
gosh.
it's nice.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
If they
No.
pay
No.
me, right?
If a couple,
If a couple
go to a
go
restaurant
to a
together,
restaurant together,
I don't think
I
they
don't
should
think
each
they
pay
should each pay
half the bill.
half the bill
Why not? Why not? Because
because
I can pay.
I can pay.
The woman can pay, guys. Okay. Power. Women empowerment. She's so honest, guys. Another about how much does your phone bill generally come to per month? About how much does your phone bill generally come to per month? My phone bill
My
generally
phone bill
generally comes to about
about
how much?
how much?
Hmm? Your bill. Not sure.
Free
Maybe it's only
now
free.
for a year.
Oh, per month. No, the usual. How much? Number.
Usually
There's no free in this world.
10,000 yen.
Guys, go to their place. It's free. Free phone bill. It comes to about how much? The usual
10,000 yen.
per month. Maybe my whole bill, not only electricity and phone. Maybe 200 yen. Can you imagine, guys? Philippines. Okay, another. What happens to a bill after it has been passed by parliament? Okay, what happens to a bill after it has been passed by parliament? After a bill has been passed,
After
a
a
bill
bill
has been passed
has been
by
passed by
parliament.
Parliament,
It becomes an act.
it becomes an
An act. An act.
An act.
Yep. So what do we use the words used to and what does it mean? Again, when do we use the words used to and what does it mean? We use the words
We
used
use
to.
the word used to.
Words
The
used to
words used to
for a habit
for a habit of
or repeated action in the
repeated
past.
action in the past.
Especially when the action is
Especially
when the
when
action
the
is
action is
now finished.
now finished.
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 Yep. Give examples. I used to go to the cinema a
I used
lot
to go to the cinema a lot
when I was a child.
when I was a child.
It's a prank. We did. I never. Okay, another. Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now? Did you used to speak English better in the past than you speak it now? Yes, no. No, I didn't used to speak English better in the past than I speak it now. I used to speak it worse than I speak it now. I speak it now.
I speak it now.
I speak it
now.
No, no.
Yeah.
I said no. Like another, did you used to eat a lot of sweets when you were a child? Did you used to eat a lot of sweets when you were a child? Yes, no.
Yes.
I used to.
Used to eat.
Say yes. No, yes. I used to eat a lot of sweets when I was a child. You're making it secret. Yes, guys, she does. She did, and she still.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Why not, right? Another. What about this? What do the letters BC mean? Again, what do the letters BC mean? The letters BC mean before Christ. Yep. Another. What do the letters AD mean? What do the letters AD mean? The letters AD mean Anno Domini. From the Latin meaning in the year of our Lord. Although we usually think of this as meaning after Christ. Yep, when someone is on trial, do they have to promise to tell the truth in court? Like when someone is on trial, do they have to promise to tell the truth in court? Yes, when someone is on trial, they have to promise to tell the truth in court. So is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial? Is it wise to judge something before we give it a trial? No, it isn't wise to judge something. Isn't wise to judge something before we give it a trial. Why not? Why not? Because
Because
I believe it's
I believe
important to
it's
try
important to try
to give
to
people
give
the
people
benefit
the
of the doubt
benefit of the doubt
because things are
because
not
things are
always
not always
as they
as
appear.
they appear.
Yep. So, what do you like to see introduced into your country from abroad? What do you like to see introduced into your country from abroad? I'd like to
I'd like to
see
see
which one? Other cultures and food.
other
Other cultures and
and
food
food
introduced into my
this
country.
into
Introduced into my
this
country.
to my country
Into my country
into my
from
country from
abroad.
abroad.
Okay, what about this one? So, can we use the words also as well into in negative sentences? Can we also use, or can we use the words also as well into in negative sentences? No, we can't
No,
use
we
the
can't use
words
the words
also as well and to
and to
in negative
in
sentences.
negative sentences.
Yep. Which word do we use instead? Which word do we use instead? We use the
We
word
use the
either
word either
instead.
instead.
Yep. Giving examples. Giving examples. He doesn't
He
watch
doesn't
TV
watch TV
or listen to the
or
radio
listen to the
either.
radio either.
Yep. Do you live in the school? Do you live in the school? No, I don't
No,
live
I
in this
don't live
school.
in school.
Exactly. What about this one? So, do the other students live in the school? Do the other students live in the school? No, the other
No, the
students
other
don't live.
don't live.
Students don't
Students
live
don't live
in the school
in
either.
the school either.
Yep. Can you speak Chinese? Can you speak Chinese? No, I
No,
can't
I
speak
can't speak
Chinese.
Chinese.
Yep, let me change the nationality because you are Japanese. Can you speak Russian? Can you speak Russian? No, I can't
No, I
speak
can't
Russian
speak
either.
Russian either.
We'll come here next Saturday. We'll come here next Saturday. No, I
No,
won't
I
come
won't
here
come here
next
next
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yep, we'll come here next Sunday. We'll come here next Sunday. No, I won't
No, I
come
won't
here
come here
next
next
Sunday
Sunday
either.
either.
Only an example for the benefit of the doubt, remember? Again, another. So tell me something that you know you'll definitely do next weekend. Again, tell me something that you know you'll definitely do next weekend. I know
I
that I'll
know that
definitely.
I'll definitely.
I know that
I
I'll
know that
definitely.
I'll definitely
What?
having classes.
I'll definitely have classes
Have classes
next weekend.
next weekend.
Me too. Yeah. You know, guys, no choice. Again, another would you? Well, I love teaching though. Again, another. So, would you like to live a life of adventure? Again, would you like to live a life of adventure? No, I wouldn't
No,
like
I
to live a
wouldn't like
life
to live a life
of
of
adventure.
adventure
Why not? Why not? Because
because
I want a
I
smooth,
want a smooth
smooth with
with
smooth flow
smooth
of life.
flow of life.
She doesn't like danger, guys. Yeah, that's the truth. Yep. Okay, another say, what does a seed need to grow in a garden? What does a seed need to grow in a garden? A seed
A
needs
seed
water
needs water
to grow in a
to
garden.
grow in a garden.
Okay, let's move that. So, what is the difference between we are going to go to the theater and we are going to the theater? Again, what is the difference between we are going to go to the theater and we are going to the theater? The difference
The difference
between
between
we are going to
we
go
are
to the
going to go to
theater
the theater
and we are
and
going
we
to the
are going to
theater
the theater
is that
is that
we are going
we
to
are
go to
going
the
to go to the
theater
theater
communicates
communicates
that
that
it is
it
our
is our
intention to go,
intention to go,
whereas we are
whereas
going to
we
the
are going to
theater.
the
Theater
theater
communicates that
communicates that
the visit
the
has already been the visit has
visit has
already been
already
been arranged.
been arranged.
We already have the
We
tickets, for
already have
example.
the ticket, for example.
Tickets, for example.
Tickets, for example.
My earphone again doesn't hear. Not my ear. Okay, another. So, have you made any arrangements for this afternoon? Have you made any arrangements for this afternoon? Yes, I've made some
Yes,
arrangements
I've made some arrangements
for this
for
afternoon.
this afternoon.
I'm recording myself. I'm recording
I'm
myself
recording myself.
through this
Okay.
YouTube, right? Okay, what else? I'm cooking.
I'm
I'm
cooking
cooking something, etc.
something, etc.
Yes, right. So I'm cooking. You could also say I'll make, right? Anyways, etc. Are you coming to school tomorrow? Are you coming to school tomorrow? Yes, I'm coming to
Yes,
school tomorrow.
I will.
I'm coming to
I'm
school
coming to
tomorrow.
school tomorrow.
Are you going away next weekend? Are you going away next weekend? No, I'm
No,
not
I'm not
going
going
away
away
next
next
weekend.
weekend.
Yep. Do you know what he is doing after the lesson? Do you know what he's doing after the lesson? No, I
No,
don't
I don't
know
know
what he's
what he's
doing
doing
after the lesson.
after the lesson.
Ask him, please. Ask him, please. What are you
What are
doing
you doing
after the lesson?
after the lesson?
I'm gonna be having more stickos. So, guys, sticker, right? It's very delicious. Promotion tomorrow. Yeah, it's a non-paid promotion, guys. Okay, don't worry. Okay, anyway, so what's another verb can we use instead of the verb to carry? Okay, what's another verb we can use instead of the verb to carry? Another
Another
verb
verb
we can use
we can
instead
use
of
instead of
the verb
the
to carry
verb
is
to carry is
verb to
the
bear.
verb to bear.
Verb to bear.
The verb to wear. Bear.
To wear what? To bear.
To bear.
Yep, another what are the three forms of bear me? What are the three forms of bear? The three forms
The
of bear
three
are
forms of bear are
bear,
bear,
bore,
bore,
born.
born.
Yep, do you think you could bear the weight of the table on your back? Do you think you could bear the table of weight of the table on your back? Yes, I think
Yes,
I
I
could
think
bear
I could bear
the weight of
the
this
weight
table
of this table
on my back.
on my back.
Yeah, you guys is very strong. Very, very strong. Another, what kind of things can't you bear? What kind of things can't you bear? The kind of
The
things
kind of things
I can't
I
bear
can't
are
bear are you and you and you,
etc.
etc.
She's so honest, guys. We cannot help it. Well, good thing it's bear, not panda, right? What things can you panda?
I should have said horse. You horse.
I think that's too much for you. I can't bear it anymore. I think this question should be for me. This is for me. Ask me. What kind of things can you bear watching? The kind of things I can bear is me. Same. Yes, guys. That's how our brains are really together, like crashing. Clashing and crashing. Like another. Who was the last child your mother bore? Who was the last child your mother bore? Who
What?
was it?
Me.
Oh, the last child my mother bore.
Huh?
The last
The
child
last child
my
my
mother
mother
bore
bore
was
was me.
me. Or me or was I? Both though. Anyway, so what is the greatest physical pain you've ever borne? What's the greatest physical pain you've ever borne? The greatest
The
physical
greatest
pain
physical pain
I've ever
I've
borne
ever
was
borne was
giving
giving
birth.
giving
Birth.
birth.
Me too. Oh, oh, oh. Oh,
Teacher?
which part? Ba-dum. Okay, another. What is the difference between the words on and upon? Again, what is the difference between the words on and upon? There is no
There's no
difference
difference
between the words
between the
on and
words
upon.
on and upon.
Upon.
On and
Upon.
upon.
Yep, except that the word on,
Except that
the word
the
on
word
is
on is
much more
much
common.
more common.
Yep. Okay, what about this one? Could you eat a whole chicken? Could you eat a whole chicken? Yes, I could
Yes, I
eat
could eat
a whole
a
chicken.
whole chicken.
Yeah, be honest. Uh-huh. Okay, another. Would you say that on the whole life was better today than it was in the past? Okay, would you say that on the whole life was better today than it was in the past? Yes, I'd say
Yes,
that.
I'd say that.
On the
On the
whole,
whole,
life was better
life
today
was
than
better
today
today than
it was in the
it
past.
was in the past.
Life
Life
was better
was better
today
today
than it
than
was in the
it was
past.
in the past.
Yeah, that was newscaster. Okay, anyways, another. So, have you ever spent a whole week in bed because you've been ill? Did you? Yeah. So, have you ever spent a whole week in bed because you've been ill? No. No, I've never
I've
spent a whole
never
week in
spent a
bed
whole week in bed
because I've been ill.
because I've been
I've been
ill.
ill,
Ill.
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 Okay. What about this one? Just a moment, because my how to say this one page is loading. Okay, another one. Let's move on. Move. Done. Okay, this one. 5:20. If you go to stay at a friend's for one night, do you take a lot of luggage with you? Again, if you go to stay at a friend's for one night, do you take a lot of luggage with you? No, if I go
No,
to
if I
stay
go
at
to stay at
a friend's
our
for one
friends
night,
for one night,
I don't take
I
a lot
don't
of
take a lot of
luggage
luggage
with me.
with me.
Yep, me. What is the verb to account for me? What is the verb to account for me? The verb to
The
account
verb
for
to
means
account for means
to
to
explain the reason
explain the
for.
reason for.
Yep. So how do you account for the fact that fewer CDs and DVDs are sold these days than previously? How do you account for the fact that fewer CDs and DVDs are sold these days than previously? My mouth doesn't move anymore. Lakju. This is because
This is because
more people
more
download
people
music
download music
and films
and
from
films from
the internet
the
these
internet
days.
these days.
Yes. Yeah, perfect, guys. Perfect. I have 24 Callan classes, guys. That's why. So my mouth cannot anymore move. Okay, another. So, do governments usually have to account to the public for all the money they spend? Do governments usually have to account to the public for all the money they spend? Yes,
Yes,
governments
governments
usually have to
usually
account
have
to the
to
public,
account to the public,
have to
have
account to
to
the public
account to the public
for all the money
for
they
all the
spend.
money they spend.
Yep, that's cool. Another. So, do you think parents should have some control over the education of their children? Do you think parents, should have some control over the education of their children? Yes, I think
Yes, I think
parents
parents
should have some
should have some
control
control
over the education of
over
their
their
children.
education,
Over the education
over
of
the education,
over
over
the
the
education of their
education of
children.
their children,
Their children.
their children.
Yep, so what are the adjectives of the nouns north, south, east, and west? What are the adjectives of the nouns north, south, east, and west? The
The
adjectives of the
adjectives
nouns.
of the noun,
The
the
nouns
nouns,
north, south,
north,
east,
south,
and
east,
west
and west,
are
are
northern,
northern,
southern,
southern,
eastern, and
eastern, and
western.
western.
Yep, so name me a northern European country. Name a northern European country. Finland
Finland
is a
is
northern
a
European
northern
country.
European country.
So tell me the name of a southern state in the USA. Tell me the name of a southern state in the USA. The name of
The
a
name
southern
of a
state
southern state
in the
in
USA
the
is
USA is
Texas.
Texas.
Yep. Okay, what about this one? It's loading again. Amazing again. Okay, just a moment again. Okay, let's move down. Another. What about this one? So, does the state in your country give free education? Does the state in your country give free education? Yes, the state in my
Yes.
country.
The
The state
state
in
in
my
my
country
country
gives free
give
education.
free education.
Free education.
Free education.
Yep. Yes. Hi, Mr. Suga. Again, another, if you can hear. Again, maybe. Yep. Is Russia a Western European country? Is Russia a Western European country? No, Russia
No,
isn't
Russia isn't
a
a
Western
Western
European country.
European country.
Yep. Okay, another one we fill in a form. Do we normally have to sign our name at the bottom when we fill in a form? Do we normally have to sign our name at the bottom? Yes, when we fill
Yes,
in a
when we
form.
fill in a
In a
form,
form, we normally
we
have to
normally
sign
have to sign
our name at the
our
bottom.
name at the bottom.
Yep. So what kind of sign am I making? What kind of sign am I making? You're making
You're
a sign
making a sign,
which means
come here.
come here, me, come here. Again, if a man has rough skin on his hands, again, what is that probably a sign of? If a man has rough skin on his hands, what is probably a sign of? If a man
If
has
a
rough
man has
skin
rough skin
on his
on
hands,
his hands,
it's probably a
it's
sign
probably
that
a sign that
he does
he
physical
does
work
physical work
or works
or
with
works with
his
his
hands.
hands.
Yep. So, what is the sign of the Christian religion? What is the sign of the Christian religion? The cross
The
is
cross is
the sign
the
of the
sign of the
Christian
Christian
religion.
religion.
Yep. Let's move down here. So, what size shoes do you take? Me is 7. What about you? What size shoes
Mhm.
do you take? I take size.
Mm,
I take
I take
size
size
9
9
shoes.
shoes.
Shoes. Yes, because she's tall, guys. That's why. Okay, another. All right. So, what do some women prefer to wear? For example, instead of tights. Okay, what do some women prefer to wear instead of tights? Some women prefer
Some
to wear.
women prefer to wear.
Women prefer
Women prefer to
to
wear
wear stockings instead of
stocking
tights.
instead of tights.
Stockings
Stockings
instead of tights.
instead of tights.
Yep. Let's talk about damage. Yep. If you borrowed a friend's bicycle and damaged it in an accident, would you pay? Would you pay to have it fixed? Again, if you borrowed a friend's bicycle and damaged it in an accident, would you pay to have it fixed? To have it fixed, yes. If I
Yes, if
borrowed
I
a friend's bicycle, borrowed
borrowed
borrowed a friend's
a
bicycle
friend's bicycle
and damaged it in
and
an
damaged
accident,
it
an
in an
accident,
accident,
I pay to have
I'd
it fixed.
pay to have it fixed.
Yes, so sad. Careful. Okay, another. Do you think life is more violent these days than it was in the past? Do you think life is more violent these days than it was in the past? Yes, no?
No,
I don't think
I
life
don't
is more
think life is
violent
more violent
these days
these
than
days than
it was in the
it was in
past.
the past.
Yep, me. Would you like to join the Navy? Again, would you like to join the Navy? Yes, no?
No,
I wouldn't
I
like to
wouldn't
join
like to be. I
to
wouldn't
join
like to join
the
the
Navy.
Navy
Why not? Why not? Because
because it's too
but it's too tough.
tough.
Mm,
Maybe. Mm,
it's too tough to become a soldier, right?
mm.
It's too tough
It's
for
too
me,
tough for me to become
a
a
soldier.
soldier.
Yes, right. Especially in the sea, we cannot swim though. You can you swim? Oh, oh, oh. She can be a navy guys, navy balloon. So sad. Okay, another. So, do you belong to any clubs? Do you belong to any clubs? Yes, no.
No.
How about the Disney, the DWE?
Mm.
No,
Oh.
you do, right?
Mm.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I belong
I
to some
belong to
clubs.
some clubs. Some.
Yes,
Okay.
she's in the Disney club, guys. You can ask her guys to sing. Sample, sample. Again, are there a lot of nightclubs in this town here in Cebu City, for example? Are there a lot of nightclubs in this town? Yes, there are a
Yes,
lot of
there are a lot of
nightclubs
nightclubs
in this
in
town.
this town.
Yep, I used to familiar. Okay, I'm already okay now. Okay, so do you think a person should accept life me as it is or try to change it? Again, do you think a person should accept life as it is or try to change it? I think
I think
a person
a
should.
person should
Wait, my mouth
accept
cannot move. Accept life as it
life
is.
as it is.
Yeah, person. Okay, again, I think a
I think
person
a
should
person should
accept
accept
life
life
as it is.
as it. A
Accept
person
life. I
accept.
think a person
I
should
think a person should accept a life
life
as it is.
a life accountable. Accept life.
Accept life as it is
Yep. Why? Why? Because
because
it's much easier. It's
much
much easier
easier
to what?
to
Mhm, to continue living.
continue living.
Yeah, because you don't need to change anything, right? But it depends, guys. Okay, maybe some are in good condition, some are in bad. So again, for me, she doesn't need to. She doesn't need to change. So let's respect. When you cannot explain shit, let's just respect her decision, guys. Again, if you were walking along the street, me and a stranger try to give you money for no reason, you have a million, for example, would you reject the offer? Another way, if you were walking along the street and a stranger tried to give you money for no reason, would you reject the offer? Yes, no, no. If I was
If
walking
I
along
was walking along the street,
walking
walking
along the
along the
street,
street,
and a stranger tried
and
to, a
a
stranger
stranger tried
tried to give me
to
money
give me money
for no
for no
reason,
reason,
I wouldn't
I
reject
wouldn't reject the
the
offer.
offer. I'd accept
I'd
accept it.
accept it.
Yep,
Yay!
that's life, right? You said nothing to change. Accept. Okay. Yeah, there's no why, so I think you're safe. Another, can you think of any famous artists in the world? Can you think of any famous artists in the world? Yes, I can think of.
Yes, I can
Yes, I
think
can
of
think of some famous
some
artists
famous artists
in the
in
world.
the world.
Constantine's Arch
Constantine's Arch
in Rome, etc.
in Rome, etc.
Yep. So, would you jump into a river if you thought there might be rocks under the water? Again, would you jump into a river if you thought there might be rocks under the water? No, I wouldn't
I
jump
wouldn't
into
jump into
a river,
a river
if I thought
if I
there might
thought there
be
might be
rocks under the
rocks
water.
under the water.
Careful. Another, how do we make a question with the present simple, the past simple? How do we make a question with the present simple, the past simple? We make a
We make a
question with
question with
the present
the present
simple
simple
and the past
and a past
simple
simple
by
by
using the
using
auxiliary
the
verb
auxiliary verb
do.
to. To.
Yeah, do. Another, give me some examples, first. Give me some examples, first. Do you want some tea?
Do you want some tea?
Uh huh. Tea. Again, says coffee. Did she see the film last night?
Did she see
See
the
the film
film
last
last
night?
night?
Yep, another me. And how do we make a question with verbs that already contain one or more auxiliaries? Again, how do you make a question with verbs that already contain one or more auxiliaries? With verbs
With
that already
verbs that
contain
already contain
one or more auxiliaries. One or more
one or
auxiliaries. One or more
one or
auxiliaries.
more auxiliaries.
We make a
We make
question
a
by
question by
putting the
putting
subject
the subject after
the first
the
auxiliary
first
verb.
auxiliary verb.
Could you say it again? Subject.
Subject.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Are you going to go to
Are
the
you
party?
going to go to the party?
Yep. So now me, I will say a statement. I want you to change it into a question. Ready? Michael can play the guitar. Michael can play the guitar. Can Michael
Can
play the guitar?
Michael
Play the
play
guitar?
the guitar?
Yep. Susan goes shopping on Saturdays. Susan goes shopping on Saturdays. Does
Does
Susan
Susan
go shopping on
go
Saturdays?
shopping on Saturdays?
It will rain later. It will rain later. Will it
Will
rain
it
later?
rain later?
George made a mistake. George made a mistake. Did
Did
George
George made a
make a mistake?
make a
Did
mistake?
what? You make a mistake? George made a mistake. Did George made a mistake? Did George make a mistake? Did
Did
George
George
make a mistake?
make a mistake?
Yep. We can put words. You make a mistake. Yes, yes, yes. You make a mistake. Okay, another. This bus is going to the city. Wow, city. Okay, again, this bus is going to the city center. Again, this bus is going to the city center. Yes.
Yeah?
Is this bus?
Is this bus?
Hi guys, I'm so high. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. Try guys, 24 Callan classes every day. You'll be high like me. I will repeat this part for my justice. This bus is going to the city center. This bus is going to the city center. Is this bus
Is
going to
this
the
bus
city
going
center?
to the city center?
City center? Yep. They should save their money. They should save their money. Should they save
Should
their
they
money?
save their money?
We have to go now. We have to go now. Do we have to go
Do
now?
we have to go now?
They had been working for more than 2 hours. They had been working for more than 2 hours. Had they been
Had they been
working
working
for more than
more than 2
2 hours?
hours?
Yep. Let's move down here if we still can. So if we want to live a healthy life, it doesn't matter what kind of food we eat. If we want to live a healthy life, it doesn't matter what kind of food we eat. Yes, if we
Yes,
want
if
to
we
live
want to live
a healthy life,
a healthy life,
it matters
it
what kind of
matters
food we eat. What kind of food
what
we
kind of food we eat.
Yep. So what kind of food ought we to eat? What kind of food ought we to eat? The kind of
The
food we
kind of
ought to
food
eat
we ought to eat
is fruit.
is fruit,
You can add what else? Fish, vegetables, etc.
etc.
Yeah, so they just put in a group word instead of R. Anyways, does it matter very much if we occasionally make a small mistake in our dictations? Yes, these guys. Does it matter very much if we occasionally make a small mistake in our dictations? No,
No,
it doesn't
it
matter
doesn't matter
very much
very much
if we
if
occasionally
we
make
occasionally make
a small
a
mistake
small
in our
mistake
dictations.
in our dictations.
Small mistake
A small mistake
in our
in
dictations.
our dictations.
Yep. Would it matter to you if you lived in a place with nowhere to go for entertainment? Again, would it matter to you if you lived in a place with nowhere to go for entertainment? No, it wouldn't matter
It
to
wouldn't
me
matter to me
if I lived
if
in a
I lived
place
in a place
with nowhere
with
to go for
nowhere to go for
entertainment.
entertainment.
Yeah, she can survive, guys, so far. Okay, so me, if I suddenly went like this, what would you ask me? If I suddenly went like this, what would you ask me? If you suddenly
If you
went like
suddenly
that,
went like that.
if you
If you
suddenly went like
suddenly
that,
went like that,
I'd ask
I'd
you,
ask you,
what's the matter?
what's the matter?
Yep. Okay, another. So do you find that no matter what you do, you cannot please everyone? Contraction, you can't please everyone. Do you find that no matter what you do, you can't please everyone? Yes, I find that.
Yes, I find that.
No matter what
No
I
matter
do,
what I do,
I can't
I
please
can't please
everyone.
everyone.
Why is this so? Why is this so? Because people
Because
have
people
different
have different
tastes,
tastes,
ideas, and
ideas,
opinions.
and opinions.
Okay, another. So in Japan, what's the time right now? Please, what's the time right now? The time
The
right
time
now
right
is.
now is 9:33.
Yep. So what's the name of the country right in the north of Europe? What's the name of the country right in the north of Europe? The name of
The
a
name of a
country
country
that is what? Right in the
right
north
in
of
the
Europe
north of Europe
is Norway.
is Norway.
Norway. Norway.
Norway.
To Norway. Donde mamãe. Okay, another. So Norway, right? And so what other forms of choose? So other forms choose. The three forms of
The
choose
three forms of choose
are choose, chose, chosen. Well, who chose the shoes you're wearing? Who chose the shoes you're wearing?
I chose
The shoes I'm
The
wearing.
shoes I'm wearing.
Yep. Have you chosen where you're going to go for your next holiday? Again, have you chosen where you're going to go for your next holiday? Yes, no?
No.
No, I haven't
I
chosen
haven't
where.
chosen where.
I'm going to
I'm
go
going
for
to
my
go
next
for
holiday.
my next holiday.
Yep. Do you believe that more is gained by force than by persuasion? Again, do you believe that more is gained by force than by persuasion? Yes, no?
No.
No, I don't
I
believe
don't
that
believe that
more is
more is
gained
gained
by
by
force than
force
by
than by
persuasion.
persuasion.
Yep. Is a bow any use without arrows? Is a bow any use without arrows? No, a bow
No, a
isn't any
bow
use
isn't any
without
use without
arrows. Yep.
arrows.
Arrows. Is it natural for cats to spend a lot of their time sleeping? Is it natural for cats to spend a lot of their time sleeping? Yes, it's
Yes,
natural
it's
for
natural
cats
for cats
to spend a
to
lot of their
spend a
time
lot of their time
sleeping.
sleeping.
Ah, you're a cat. Okay, another. What would you like to invent, Mia? What would you like to invent? I'd like to
I'd like to
invent
invent
what?
time
What do you
machine.
like? I see. You wanna go back? Yes. You wanna go
Yay.
back yesterday? Only yesterday when I was eating a lot of snacks. Like another. Have you made any, or let's say, have you ever made a speech in public? Have you ever made a speech in public? Yes. No.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yes. Right. So yes, I've made a
Yes, I've made
speech
a speech
in
in
public.
public.
Yeah, she's a speaker, guys. Ask her, ask her. Like another. So what is the expression? Quite a few mean. What is the expression? Quite a few mean. The expression
The
quite a few
expression quite
means
a few means
a fairly
a
large number
fairly
of.
large number of.
Yeah, giving examples. Giving examples. There were quite a
There are
few
quite a few
people
people
at a party.
at a party.
What are the three forms of draw? What are the forms of draw? The three
The
forms
three
of
forms
draw are
draw, drew, drawn.
drawn. If you draw that table across the floor, do you think it'll leave a mark behind it? Again, if you drew that table across the floor, do you think it'll leave a mark behind it? Yes, if I
Yes,
drew
if
this
I drew
table
this table
across the
across
floor,
the floor,
I think it'll
I
leave a
think
mark
it'll leave a mark
behind it.
behind it.
Yep. If you drew my face, do you suppose it'd be recognizable? If you drew my face, do you suppose it'd be recognizable? No.
No,
If I drew
if
your
I drew your
face,
face,
I don't
I don't
suppose
suppose
it'd be
it'd be
recognizable.
recognizable.
Recognizable. She already did, and it wasn't. So sad. Why not? Why not? Because
Because
you're what? Just a moment. There was a pop-up message. Yeah, like the message in the system. Yeah, why? Because I can't draw
I
very well.
can't draw very well.
I don't suppose it'd
I
be.
I don't suppose
It'd be
to be
recognizable.
recognizable.
Yes, it's okay. Your drawing is the best. Another about how long ago is it since everything was drawn by horses again? About how long ago it's since everything was drawn by horses? It's about a
It's
hundred
about
years
a
ago
hundred years ago
since everything
since
was drawn
everything was drawn
by
by
horses.
horses.
Okay, let's go to the next. Another. What do we use the expression at last? Again, what do we use the expression at last? We use the
We use
expression
the
at
expression
last
at last
when we feel
when
that
we
we
feel
have been
that we have been
waiting for a long
waiting for a long
time
time
for something
for
to
something to
happen,
happen.
and then it
And,
happens,
eh?
and then it
And
happens.
then it happened.
Yep. Give an example. Give an example. Is here you are
Ah,
at last.
here you are at last.
Here you are at last.
Here you are at last.
Where have you been?
Where have you been?
I've been to London. Like another. What do we use the word lastly? Again, what do we use the word lastly? We use the
We
word
use the word
lastly
lastly
to say the
to say
last
the
thing
last
in
things in
the last
the
thing
last thing
in a list.
in a list.
Yep. Give an example. Give an example. So we need to
We
paint
need
this
to paint this
office,
office,
buy some new
buy some new
computers,
computers,
and
and
lastly,
lastly,
get better desks
get
for
better desks for
everyone.
everyone.
Yep. So me, which word can we use instead of at last or lastly? Which word can we use instead of at last or lastly? We can use
We
the
can
word
use the word
finally instead of
finally instead of
at last
at
or
last or
lastly.
lastly.
Give an example of the word finally, please. Give an example of the word finally, please. Finally.
Finally.
Here's the boss.
Here's the boss.
Yep, another. So she finished her work. She
She
finished her work.
finished her work.
She
She
finished her work.
finished her work.
Turned off the
Turned off the
computer.
computer.
Put on her jacket
Put on
and
her jacket and
finally left the
finally left
office.
the office.
Okay, let's move down. So, if I claim to be a millionaire, would you believe me? If I claim to be a millionaire, would you believe me? No. If you
No,
claim to be a millionaire,
if you claim to
to
be a
be a millionaire,
millionaire,
I wouldn't
I
believe
wouldn't
you.
believe you.
Why not? Why not? Because you wouldn't
Because you
be.
wouldn't be
You wouldn't be what? You wouldn't
you
be
wouldn't be
teaching here
teaching
now.
here now.
I will still be teaching though. Yes. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Another, if someone hit your car and it was definitely their fault, could you claim damages against them again? If someone hit your car and it was definitely their fault, could you claim damages against them? Yes, no? Yes. If someone
If
hit my
someone
car
hit my car
and it was
and it was
definitely their
definitely
fault,
their fault,
I could claim
I could
damages
claim
against them.
damages against them.
If they rejected your claim, what did you do? If they rejected your claim, what do you do? If they
If they
rejected
rejected
my
my
claim,
claim,
I'd take them
I'd
to
take them to
court.
court.
Whoa. Just for a scratch. Okay, another say if a relation of yours died and left you some land or other property, would you have to go in order to claim it legally? If a relation of yours died and left you some land or other property, would you have to go in order to claim it legally? If a
If
relation
a
of mine, relation of
relation
mine
of mine
died and
died
left me
and
some
left me
land
some land
or other
or other
property,
property,
I'd have to go to
I'd have to go to
a
a
lawyer's
lawyer's
office
office
in order to
in
claim it
order to
legally.
claim it legally.
Yep, where must you go to claim things that you've left on the train? Where must you go to claim things that you've left on the train? I must
I
go to
must go
the
to the
lost property
lost
office
property
to
office
claim
to
things
claim
that
things that
I've left on the
I've left
train.
on the train.
On the
On the
train.
train.
Yep, another do old people often talk about what life was like in their youth. Yeah, I do this sometimes. I'm old. Old people often talk about what life was like in their youth. Yes, old
Yes,
people
old people
often talk
often
about
talk about
what life was like.
what was
Life,
life
what life was
what
like
life was like
in their
in their
youth.
youth.
Yep. Do you think the youth of today are better educated than the youth of 100 years ago? Do you think the youth of today are better educated than the youth of 100 years ago? Yes, I think
Yes,
the
I
youth
think
of
the youth
today
of today
are better.
are better.
The youth
The
of
youth
today.
of today,
I cannot hear one more time. The youth
the
of
youth
today
of today
are better
are better
educated
educated
than the youth
than
of a
the youth
hundred
of
years ago.
100 years ago.
Yep. So, guys, the connection is sometimes, Okay, another is what kind of work can a youth do better than an old man? What kind of work can a youth do better than an old man? A youth
A
can do
youth can
physical
do
work
physical work
better than
better
an
than an
and old
old
man.
man.
Yep, okay, let's move down to grammar. What's a class? What's a class? A
A
class is
class
any
is
group of
any
words, group of
group
words,
of words
of
of
words
words
with a
with a
subject and
subject and
a main
a
verb.
main verb.
What's a conjunction? What's a conjunction? A
A
conjunction is a
conjunction
word
is a word
that joins
that joins
clauses
clauses
together to make
together to make
long
long
sentences.
sentences.
Yep, give me an example of the sentence that contains two clauses joined together by a conjunction, please. Give me an example of a sentence that contains two clauses joined together by conjunction, please. I love
I
chocolate
love chocolate
because it tastes
because
so
it
good.
tastes so good.
Yes, everyone knows that. Okay, another. What is the difference between a main class and a dependent class? What is the difference between a main class and a dependent class? The
The
difference
difference
between
between
a main
a main
class and
clause and
a
a
dependent
dependent
class
clause
is
is
that
that
a main
a
class
main
is
clause is
or contains a main class
contains
contains
main clause contains
the main
the
message of
main
the sentence.
messages of the sentence,
The main
the
message of the sentence.
message of the sentence,
What's main
main
message
message
of the
of the
sentence?
sentence,
Whereas a dependent
whereas the
clause
dependent
contains
clause
other
contains
information.
other information.
Yeah, which is the main clause in the sentence? If I don't sleep enough, I feel tired. Which is the main clause in the sentence? If I don't sleep enough, I feel tired. I feel
I feel
tired is
tired is
the main
the
clause
main
in that
clause in that
sentence.
sentence.
And which is the dependent clause? And which is the dependent clause? If I don't sleep
If I don't
enough,
sleep enough
is the
is
dependent
the
clause.
dependent clause.
Give me a sentence containing two clauses that starts with a conjunction, please. Give me a sentence containing two clauses that starts with a conjunction, please. When I
When
visit my
I visit
mom,
my mom,
I'll tell her
I'll
the
tell
news.
her the news.
If the weather is good,
If the weather is good,
we can go for a walk in the park.
we
We can
can
go
go for a
for a
walk
walk in the park.
in park
In the
in
park.
the park.
Yep, so which conjunctions cannot start the sentence like this? Again, which conjunctions cannot start a sentence like this? The
The
conjunctions
conjunction
and,
or
and
and
but
but
cannot start the
cannot start
sentence
the sentence
like that.
like that.
Yep. Okay. So from that floor of the building, do you have to descend to go outside? Again, from that floor of the building, do you have to descend to go outside? Yes, from this
Yes,
floor of the
from this
building,
floor of the building,
I have to
I have
descend
to
to go outside.
descend
To go
to go
outside.
outside.
What's another verb to descend? What's another verb to descend? The noun of the verb to descend.
Another verb,
The noun of the verb
the noun of the
of the verb
verb
descend
descent
is
is
descend.
descent.
Yep, again, so is Jerusalem a holy place for many people in the world? Is Jerusalem a holy place for many people in the world? Yes,
Yes,
Jerusalem
Jerusalem
is a holy
is a
place for
holy
many
place for
people
many people
in the world.
in the world.
Yeah, is a holy place, right? Again, so if you're not able to do something, do you think it's better to confess the fact? Like, oh, Huazheng, can you do that? If you're not able to do something, do you think it's better to do or to confess the fact? Yes, no?
Yes.
If I'm not
If
able to
I'm
do
not able
something,
to do something,
I think it's
I
better
think it's
to
better to confess
the fact.
the fact.
Yeah. I cannot do that. Can you do that for me? Again, so cute. Which is safer to build a house on the seashore or on the shore of a lake? Which is safer to build a house on the seashore or on the shore of a lake? It's safer
It's
to build
safer
a
to build a
house
house
on the
on the
shore
shore
of
of
a lake.
a lake
Why? Why? Because the water is
because
not so rough.
the weather is not so rough.
Yep. Rough. Rough, rough. Again, let's move. Then what's another word we can use instead of put? What's another word we can use instead of put? Another word we can
Another
use
word we
we,
can use
instead of
instead
put
of put
is
is
lay.
lay.
Yep. What are the three forms of lay? What are the forms of lay? The three
The
forms of
three
lay
forms
are
of lay are
lay,
lay,
laid,
laid,
laid.
laid.
Yep. What did they lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? What did they lay on the table at the beginning of the lesson? You laid
You
your
laid your
books
books
on the
on the
table
table
at the beginning of the
at the
lesson.
beginning of the lesson.
About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? About how many times a year do most birds lay their eggs? Most birds lay
Most
their
birds lay
eggs
their eggs
about.
about once a year.
How did you know? You have a bird. And who lays the table in your house? Who lays the table in your house? I lay the
I lay the
table
table
in my
in my
house.
house.
Yep, another. Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? Very honest. Do you think it's possible for a person to go through his entire life without telling a single lie? No, I don't
No,
think.
I don't think
It's possible
it's
for a
possible for
person
a person
to go
to
through
go through entire life,
his entire
his
life,
entire life,
without telling a
without
single
telling a
lie.
single lie.
Why not? Why not? Because every
Because
now and
every now
again,
and again,
it may be
it may
necessary
be
to
necessary to
tell a small
tell
lie.
a small lie.
So I'm okay. It's the biggest lie in the world. Right. Yeah, another about how wide is a single bed? About how wide is a single bed? A single bed
A single bed
is
about
about three
3
feet wide.
feet wide.
When traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? Again, when traveling, is it usually cheaper to buy two single tickets or a return ticket? When
When
traveling,
traveling,
yep, it's usually
it's usually
cheaper to
cheaper
buy
to buy a
return.
return ticket.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, let's move down here. So, what are the three forms of fight? What are the forms of fight? The three
The
forms of
three
fight
forms
are
of fight are fight, fought,
forms
fought.
of fight.
Hmm? The three forms of fight are fight, fought, fought.
Correct. So, what countries has your country fought against in the past? What countries has your country fought against in the past? My country
My
has fought
country has
against
fought against
which one? Which country?
where?
America?
America?
America? The Philippines.
The
The
Philippines
Philippines in the
in
past.
the past.
It's okay. We're not friends. Yeah, past is past. You know. Again, now give an example of the construction make plus object plus adjective, please. Give an example of the constructions make plus object plus adjective, please. Work makes
Work
us
makes us
tired.
tired.
I like it though. I like stress. What about you? Give an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective. Give me an example of the construction keep plus object plus adjective. Exercise keeps
Exercise
you
keeps you
healthy.
healthy.
Healthy. Yep. Healthy. Again, so which would you rather look after me for a week, a baby or a horse? Which would you rather look after for a week, a baby or a horse? I'd rather look
I'd
after
rather look after
a
a
what?
horse
For a week than a
for a
baby.
big than a baby
Oi, oi.
because it's better to take care of you. You don't cry.
You don't cry. I'm a horse, guys. Terrible. What kind of horse is this? I'm like, I'm bullies around, etc. Just put etc. on the way, etc. Hello, etc. etc.
Etc.
Yeah, I like etc.
What? What?
Because why? You only say because you don't cry, etc. Many
Mm,
more reasons, right?
okay.
Again, another. Yeah, because guys, if I don't put etc., she will continue to bully me.
It's okay.
Again, it's okay. It's not okay. Okay, anyways, the next question is dun, 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 dun. Why is that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? Yeah, so why are you? Yeah, why is that children so often don't know how to behave themselves when there are no adults to watch over them? I think the
I
reason
think the
children
reason children
so often
so
don't know how
often
to
don't know
behave
how to behave
themselves
themselves
when there are no
when there
adults
are
to
no
watch.
adults to watch.
When there are
When
no
there are
adults
no adults
to
to
watch
watch
over
over
them, is
them,
that
is that
they don't know
they
how
don't know
they don't
how
know
they don't know
the difference
the difference
between
between
right and wrong.
right and wrong.
Yes, perfect, guys, perfect. Okay, another. So, what happens to children who behave badly? Again, what happens to children who behave badly? Children
Children behave badly
who behave badly
who
are
behave badly are
sometimes sent to
sometimes
bed early
sent to bed early
by their parents.
their, by their parents.
Yeah, I sometimes do that. Parent. Okay, my mom did. Another. So, are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Are people usually on their best behavior during job interviews? Yes, people are
Yes, people
usually
are usually
on their
on their
best
best
behavior
behavior
during job interviews.
during their
Job
job
interviews.
interviews.
During?
During job interviews.
Correct. Another. If you were walking home late at night, me and someone trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? Again, if you were walking home late at night and someone trying to break into a shop, would you inform the police? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, if I were
If I
walking
were
home
walking
late at
home
night
late at night
and saw a
and saw a
man
man
trying to break into
trying
a
to
shop,
break into the shop,
into a shop,
into a shop,
I'd inform the police.
I'd inform the police.
Yep. Canada, if you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? Again, if you were carrying some heavy shopping bags and someone offered to carry one for you, what could you say? If I were
If I
carrying
were if I were carrying
some heavy
some
shopping
heavy
bags
shopping bags
and someone
and
offered to
someone
carry one
offered
for
to
me,
carry one for me,
I could say,
I could say,
thank you.
"Thank you.
That's very kind
That's
of you.
very kind of you."
You're welcome. Oh. It's me. Another. If one behaves with kindness to another person, Mia, does that person usually return the kindness? If one behaves with kindness to another person, does that person usually return the kindness? Yes, no.
Yes.
Yes. If one
If
behaves with
one
kindness,
behaves
with
with
kindness
kindness
to another
to another
person,
person,
that person
that
usually
person
returns
usually returns
the
the
kindness.
kindness.
Yep, okay, let's move down here. So give me first a negative and then a positive answer to the following questions. Ready? Okay, so this fly is flying. Of course. Another, is it far from here? There was a fly flying around. Yep, I don't know. Maybe of the food, because of the food. Another, is it far from here to the next town? Is it far from here to the next town? No, it
No, it
isn't far from
isn't
here
far from here
to the
to
next
the
town.
next town.
Yes, it's a long way from
Yes,
here,
it's a long
a long way
way
from here
from here
to the next
to the
town.
next town.
Yep. Did you walk very far yesterday? Did you walk very far yesterday? No, I
No,
didn't
I
walk
didn't
very
walk
far
very far
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yes, I
Yes, I
walked a long
walked a
way
long way
yesterday.
yesterday.
Yep. Give an example me of the expression too far. Please give an example of the expression too far. Please. It's too
It's
far
too
to walk
far to walk
to the
to the
station.
station.
Let's get a taxi.
Let's get a taxi.
Yep. So why do we generally use the word distant instead of far? Why do we generally use the word distant instead of far? We
We
generally use
generally use
the word
the word
distant
distance
instead of
instead
far
of far
as an
as an
adjective before
adjective before
a noun.
a noun.
Give me examples. Give me examples. I could see
I
some
could see some
sheep
sheep
in a
in a
distant field.
distant field.
Yep. Do you have any distant relations living in another country? Do you have any distant relations living in another country? Yes, no. Do you have any distant relations, relatives somewhere
Relation?
in another country? Yes, no.
Hmm?
No, I don't have
I
any
don't have
distant
any distant
relations
relation
living in another
living in
country.
another country.
In another
In
country.
another country.
Me in Australia. Yep. I wish I could go there too soon. Soon. Another. If you could look into a far distant future, what do you like to see there for yourself and for the word generally? Again, if you could look into the far distant future, what do you like to see for yourself and for the word generally? If I could
If
look
I could
into
look
the
into
far
the far
distant
distant
future,
future,
I'd like to see
I'd like to see
happiness
happiness
for
for
myself and
myself and
for the world generally.
for the
For the world generally.
world generally.
Miss Universe 2021. Again, others, if you had the choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? Again, if you had the choice of being born in any period throughout history, which period would you have chosen? If I
If I
had the
hadn't
choice
had the choice
of being
of being
born
born
in any
in any
period
period
throughout history,
throughout history,
I'd have
as
chosen.
I'd,
I'd have chosen
I'd have chosen.
which year?
Now it's
Same.
better.
21st century.
21st century.
Why? Why? Because everything is
Everything is
convenient.
convenient.
Woohoo. Again, others. So, have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Have you ever gone throughout the entire winter without catching a single cold? Yes, no.
Yes.
I've sometimes
I
gone throughout,
sometimes can
gone
gone throughout
throughout the entire
the
winter
entire winter
without catching
without
a single
catching a
cold.
single cold.
Yes, right. That time. Well, amazing. Again, another. Do you believe that people are all more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe that there are real basic differences? Again, do you believe that people are more or less the same throughout the world, or do you believe that there are real basic differences? I believe. I don't believe.
I believe.
I believe
I
that
believe
people
that
are people are
people are
more or less
more
the
or
same
less the same
throughout the world.
throughout the world.
So I am also tall. More or less. Like, an example. I am tall, but you're just taller. Okay. Another, what do you mean by a government official? What do we mean by a government official? By a
By a
government official,
government official
we mean
would
someone who
mean someone who
works
works
for the
for the
government,
government,
usually with
usually with
a certain
a
amount of
certain
power.
amount of power.
What do we mean by the official language of a country? What do you mean by the official language of a country? By the
By
official
the
language of a
official
country,
language of a country,
we mean the
we mean the
language that is
language that
used,
is used,
language that is
language that is
used
used
by the
by the
government
government and schools and in schools
in
in
countries where
countries where
a number of
a number of
different
different
languages
languages
are spoken.
are spoken.
Would you like to be a priest? Would you like to be a priest? Yes, no?
No,
No, I wouldn't
I
like to be
wouldn't
a
like to be
priest.
a priest
Why not? Why not? Because
because
why don't you like? I'm not into
I'm not
any
into
religious
any religious
affiliations.
affiliations.
Yep. Okay, another. What do we mean when we say that some people don't practice what they preach? What do we mean when we say that people when we say that or some people some people don't practice what they preach? When we say that some people
When you say that,
when
when
we
we
say
say
that
that,
some people
some
don't practice
people
what they
don't
preach.
practice what they
What they preach.
preach.
We
We
mean
mean
we mean what? We mean that
we mean that
they give
they
advice to
give advice to
other people about
about what is right,
but they don't
but they
follow
don't
this advice
follow this
themselves.
advice themselves.
Again, others say what which countries does the United Kingdom include? Which countries does the United Kingdom include? The United
The
Kingdom
United
include
Kingdom includes
the United Kingdom
the
includes
United
not
Kingdom.
the
The
the United
United Kingdom includes
includes England, Northern
England, Northern
Ireland,
Ireland,
Scotland, and
Scotland, and
Wales.
Wales.
Yeah, so they are sharing borders, right? So, in other words, a kingdom. What's a kingdom? A
A
kingdom is a
kingdom is a
country
country
which has a
which
king
has a
or a
king
queen
or queen
as its head.
as its head.
As
As
its
its
head.
head.
Yep. Are there any pretty flowers growing outside this building? Are there any pretty flowers growing outside this building? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, there are some pretty
There's some
flowers
pretty flowers
growing outside this
growing
building.
outside this building.
I thought growing inside. Oh, I thought it's in front of me. Oh, flower. Oh. And if you only got 5 hours sleep tonight, would you feel pretty tired tomorrow morning? If you only got 5 hours sleep tonight, would you feel pretty tired tomorrow morning? Yes. If I
Yes,
only
if I
got
only got
5 hours
five
sleep
hours
tonight,
sleep tonight,
I'd feel
I'd
pretty
feel
tired tomorrow
pretty
morning.
tired tomorrow morning.
Every day I sleep 2 hours though. Okay, another so I'm okay. So what is the idiom hang on me? What is the idiom hang on me? The idiom
The
hang on
idiom
means
hang means wait.
wait. Again, another give me examples. Give me examples. Hang on a minute.
Hang on a minute.
I think I have
I
his
think I have
his
his
address
address
in my
in
book
my
somewhere.
book somewhere.
Okay, let's move down here. Relative clause. What is a relative clause? What's a relative clause? A relative
A
clause
relative
is a
clause is a
clause
clause
that we use to
that we use
describe
to describe
a noun.
a noun.
Yep. So where do we put the relative clause? Where do we put the relative clause? We put a
We
relative
put a
clause
relative clause
in
in
immediately
after
the noun it describes. The noun
the
it
noun
describes.
it describes.
Okay, another way we call the words who, which, and that. What do we call the words who, which, and that? We call the words who, which, and that.
We
call the
call the
words
words
who, which, and that
which, and that
relative pronouns.
relative pronouns.
Yeah, what's wrong? Okay, what about this one? Let's move down because it is loading. Woohoo. Another, what is the difference between who, which, and that? What's the difference between who, which, and that? The difference between who,
between
which, and
who,
that
which, and that
is
is
that we use
we
who
use who
for
for
people, which
people,
for things
which
and
for
animals,
things and animals,
and that
and
for
that for
people, things, and
people,
animals.
things, and animals.
Challenge more. Okay, now so give me a sentence with a relative clause in it. Please give me a sentence with a relative clause in it. Please, I know a man who lives in.
I know a man
I
who
know a
lives
man who lives in that
in
street.
that street.
Okay, so segue, guys. Maybe you will think I'm too fast. No, it's Mia's choice. Okay, right. So relax. It's only a challenge. So another, the film that I saw yesterday.
I saw yesterday.
That a film. What do you mean? The film
The
that I
film
saw
that I saw yesterday
was great.
was great.
I was also like, whoa, that was fast. But what was that? Again, another now I will say two sentences, and I went. Yeah, I want you to join them together with a world of class. Okay. Yesterday I saw a film. Yeah. So the film lasted for 3 hours. Yesterday I saw a film. The film lasted for 3 hours. Yesterday I saw a
Yesterday I
film
saw a film
which
which
lasted for three
lasted for
hours.
3 hours.
Mary has a friend. Oh, it's me outside the world. Mary has a friend. Her friend lives on a boat. Mary has a friend. Her friend lives on a boat. Mary has a
Mary
friend
has a friend
who
who
lives on a
lives
boat.
on a boat.
I am reading a book. My mother gave me the book. I am reading a book. My mother gave me the book. I am
I
reading
am
the book.
reading the book.
I am reading a book
I'm reading a book
which my mother
which
gave
my
me.
mother gave me.
Yep, let me just use a. Guys, okay, another. So the waiter dropped a tray. He was carrying the tray. The waiter dropped a tray. He was carrying the tray. The waiter
The
dropped
waiter dropped the
the
tray
tray that he was
that
carrying.
he was carrying.
That he was
That he
carrying.
was carrying.
So slang, guys. And again, another. What is the proper number of players on each side for a game of football? What is the proper number of players on each side for a game of football? The proper
The
number of
proper number of
players
players
on each
on each
side for a
side
game
of
of football.
the game of football
For a game of
for
football
a game of football
is
is
11.
11.
Wow, that's correct. Another, is it considered improper behavior in your country or in your country? Let me just be specific. In your country, for a man to go through a doorway in front of a woman, again, is it considered improper behavior in that country for a man to go through a doorway in front of a woman? Yes, no. No, it isn't
It
considered
isn't
improper
considered
behavior
improper behavior
behavior in this country
in
for
this
a
country
man
for a man
to go
to go
through
through
a doorway
a
in front of a
doorway in
woman.
front of a woman.
I think so. Excuse me, right? Again, another. So, what did the words backwards, forward, sideways, etc. mean? What did the words backwards, forward, sideways, etc. mean? The words
The words
backwards,
backwards,
forwards,
forwards,
sideways,
sideways,
etc. mean
etc. means
towards the back, towards the front,
towards the front,
towards the side,
towards the
etc.
side, etc.
etc. So, yep. So, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're moving
You're moving
backwards and
backwards and
forwards.
forwards.
Yep. So, what am I doing? What am I doing? You're
You're
moving
moving
sideways.
sideways.
Yep. Another. What's my hand moving? What's my hand moving? Your
Your
hand's moving
hands moving
upwards
upwards and
and downwards.
downwards.
Yep, me count the numbers in English from 10 to 15 backwards quickly. Again, can I count the numbers in English from 10 to 15 backwards quickly? 15, 14,
15, 14,
13,
13,
and then 12,
12,
11,
11,
10.
10.
What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm
I'm
counting
counting
numbers
numbers
in
in
English
English
from 10 to
from
15
10
backwards
to
quickly.
15
Backwards
backwards
quickly.
quickly.
Come on, where's the challenge? This is what you like, right? Like, look, the reality, guys, is not like that. Okay, this is just a challenge. Again, look up the ceiling, please. Look up at the ceiling, please. So, are you looking upwards or downwards? Are you looking upwards or downwards? I'm looking
I'm looking upwards.
upwards. I'm looking upwards. Okay, another. Me, what kind of music irritates you? What kind of music irritates you? The kind of
The kind of
music
music
that
that
irritates me
irritates
is
me is
which one? Heavy metal? Heavy
heavy
metal.
metal.
Another, when you're in a restaurant, do you get irritated if people at another table are talking very loudly? When you are in a restaurant, do you get irritated if people at another table are talking very loudly? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, when I'm in a
When I'm in
restaurant,
a restaurant,
I get
I get
irritated
irritated
if people at
if
another table
people at another table
are talking very loudly.
are
Are talking
talking
very
very
loudly.
loudly.
But you also do that.
But it's coronavirus time. They shouldn't talk loud, right?
So, pantomime na? Because me you said, don't be loud like that.
They
Like
can
that.
talk.
No, they can not loudly. Alright, so quiet then. And again, as a rule, the people in your town go to the cinema more on Saturday evenings than on Sunday evenings, or vice versa. With coronavirus, let's just say, as a rule, the people in your town go to the cinema more on Sunday evenings than on Saturday evenings than on Sunday evenings, but or vice versa. As a
As
rule,
a rule,
people in my
people in
town
my
go to the
town go to
cinema
the cinema
more on
more
Saturday,
on
Sunday
Saturday
evenings than on
than on Sunday
Sunday
evenings.
evenings. Yep. I like all Sunday. Hala. Again, what do we do with waste paper? What do we do with waste paper? We
We
throw
throw
waste paper
waste
away.
paper away.
Yep. Do you think it's a waste of time learning a foreign language which is little spoken in the world? Do you think it's a waste of time learning a foreign language which is little spoken in the world? No, I don't think
No,
it's a
I
waste
don't
of
think it's a
time
waste of time
learning a foreign
learning a
language.
foreign language.
Foreign
Foreign
language
language,
which is little
which
spoken in the
is
world.
which is
Little spoken in the
little
world.
spoken in the world.
Yep. So, what kind of things do you consider to be a waste of time? What kind of things do you consider to be a waste of time? The kind of
The kind of
things
things
I consider
I
to be a waste
consider
of
to be
time
a waste of time
are which one?
are
What, going to the supermarket? No, it's not a waste of time. What do you do?
it's okay. Playing
It's
games.
okay. Oh, playing games, and
Um,
it's art. Playing games, and what else?
what else?
Doing the chores. It's you. And doing household chores.
Doing household
Household chores.
chores.
Yes, guys, she doesn't like chores. Yeah, it's okay, me too. Okay, another. What kind of things do you consider to be a waste of money? What kind of things do you consider to be a waste of money? The kind of
The kind of
things
things
I consider
I
to be a waste of
consider to be
money
a waste of money
are buying
are buying
unnecessary things.
unnecessary things.
Why? Why? Because
Because
I don't need them at all.
I don't need them at all.
Yes, you could have other things, right? So that's why it's unnecessary. Another, do you ever waste your money? Do you ever waste your money? Yes, I sometimes waste
Yes,
my
I
money.
sometimes waste up my money. Yeah?
Waste my money.
Waste my money.
On what? On what? On buying
Buying
unhealthy
unhealthy
snacks.
snacks.
It's yummy though. Another, do you ever waste your time? Do you ever waste your time? Yes, I
Yes, I
sometimes waste
sometimes
my
waste
time.
my time
How? How? By arguing
by
with watching.
arguing with watching.
Familiar. By arguing. Yes, guys, we are fighting. Which one is more delicious, chocolate or the salty food? Yeah, just simple thing though, bickering. Okay, another. So, how do we use contractions and suddenly slowly? Yeah, you know what, guys? When you have 20 Callan classes, really your heart will gonna be oh. Oh. Okay, anyways, again, I will repeat that part. When do we use contractions and when don't we use them? When do we use contractions and when don't we use them? We use
We use
contractions in
contractions in
conversation,
conversation,
but not often in writing. But not
but
often
not
in
often
writing.
in writing.
Special formal writing.
Special formal writing.
Special formal
Special,
writing.
especially
Formal writing.
formal writing.
Yep, correct. Okay, another. What do you think is the most terrible thing that can happen to someone? What do you think is the most terrible thing that can happen to someone? I think the
I
most
think the
terrible
most
thing
trouble thing
that can happen to someone is
that happen to
that can
that
happen to
can happen
someone
to someone
is what?
is suicide.
It's really terrible.
This is terrible.
I see. That's why I said the most terrible. Yeah, it's suicide. Okay, committing
Committing
suicide.
suicide.
Yes, I'm not too sure. Again, another. Would you like to have the leadership of your country in your hands? Again, would you like to have the leadership of your country in your hands? Yes, no. No, I wouldn't like
I
to have the
wouldn't like to
leadership.
have a leadership
The leadership of my country.
of my country.
The leadership of
The
my country
leadership of my country
In my
in
hands.
my hands.
Why not? Why not? Because
Because
why don't you like to be the leader of your country?
you knew me, right?
Because I don't
Because
like
I don't
taking
like taking
difficult responsibilities.
difficult responsibilities.
Responsibilities or high responsibilities, right? Yes, of course, guys. We want to live normal. Yeah, chores is even difficult, are even difficult. How much more leadership the country, right? Okay, another. So, do you have a market in the middle of your hometown? Do you have a market in the middle of your hometown? Yes, we have a
Yes, we
market
have
in
a
the middle
market in
of
the middle of my
my hometown.
hometown.
Yep. So, me, do you ever wonder what will happen to you in the future? Do you ever wonder what will happen to you in the future? No, I never
I never
wonder
wonder
what will
what
happen
will
to me
happen to me
in the
in the
future.
future.
Yeah, because if it is okay, only an example. What do you suppose will happen to you in the future? What do you suppose will happen to you in the future? I suppose
I
that
suppose that.
what? What do you suppose will happen? I suppose.
I
See, that's why,
suppose.
guys. I said she never wonder. I suppose that
I
I
suppose
will
that
be
I will be
what a great English speaker.
a great
English
English
speaker
speaker
in the future.
in the future.
Yeah, only suppose, guys. Don't worry. Don't be so serious. Okay, another. Have you ever wondered why some people are rich whilst others are poor? Again, have you ever wondered why some people are rich whilst others are poor? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. Really wondered. Yes, I've
I
sometimes
sometimes
wondered
wonder
why some people
why
are
some
rich.
people are rich,
Some people
some
are
people are
rich
rich,
whilst others
while
are
others are
poor.
poor.
Yeah, so why are children more often filled with wonder than adults? Why are children more often filled with wonders than adults? I think
I
the
think the
reason
reason
children
children
are more
are
often
more
filled with
often
wonder
filled with wonder
wonder than adults is
than
that
adults is that
so many things are
so
new to
many
them.
things
I knew to them.
I knew to them.
So good. I knew to them. Okay, another. Name me one of the seven wonders of the world. Name me one of the seven wonders of the world. The pyramids are one of the
Pyramids are
seven
one of the seven
wonders of the
wonders
world.
of the world.
There was already 14. There was already 14. Hala. Okay, another say, what is the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to you in your life? What is the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to you in your life? The most
The
wonderful
most
thing
wonderful things
that has ever
that
happened
has
to me
ever happened to me
in my life
in my
was
life was
what?
giving birth to my daughters.
Me too.
Oh,
Me too.
you too? Where?
Yeah, by knowing that. I'm just happy for you. Why not? Okay, another say, what does the idiom fed up mean? What does the idiom hala? What does the idiom fed up means? The idiom fed up
The
means
idiom fed up means
bored and
bored
tired.
and tired.
Yeah, my mouth doesn't move anymore. Guys, help. Help, I need more water. Yeah, give
Okay,
me
you
some please,
can
give me some
drink.
please. I don't want to drink. I already have stock. Too much stock. Okay, another what camel. I need more water. So sad. Give me an example. Give me some please. I'm just fed up
I'm
with
just fed
everything.
up with everything.
I see. Don't worry, I'm here. I'll make you more fed up.
Oh.
That's a friend, right? Making you more fed up. Again, another. When do we put the word so, neither, or nor at the beginning of a sentence? Again, when we put the word so, neither, or nor at the beginning of a sentence, so we put the word
We put
so,
the
neither,
word
or
so,
nor
neither nor
at the beginning of a
at the beginning
sentence
of a sentence
when someone makes a
someone makes
statement
a statement
and we want to
and we
reply that
want to reply the same situation,
that the same
that the same
situation
situation
is true for
is true
us
for us
or somebody
or
else.
somebody else.
Yes, that's great. Suddenly manic. Again, if someone tells you that they would like some coffee, Mia, and you would also like some coffee, what can you reply? If someone tells you that they would like some coffee and you would also like some coffee, what can you reply? If someone
If
tells
someone
me
tells me
that they would like
that
some
they would
coffee,
like some coffee
and I would
and
also
I
like some
would also
coffee,
like some coffee,
I can
I can
reply,
reply,
so would I.
so would I.
And I thought you were saying, Okay, another. If someone tells you that they couldn't sleep last night and you couldn't sleep either, what can you reply? If someone tells you that they couldn't sleep last night and you couldn't sleep either, what can you reply? If someone
If
tells me
someone
that
tells me that
they couldn't sleep
they
last
couldn't
night
last
and
night and
They couldn't
They
sleep
couldn't
last
sleep
night.
last night.
Last
And
night.
last night.
And I couldn't
And
sleep
I
either.
couldn't sleep either.
I can reply
I
neither
can
could
reply
I
neither
or
could I or
nor
nor
could I.
could I.
Yep. Okay. So me, how do we make this kind of short reply? How do we make this kind of short reply? We make
We
this kind
make
of
this
short
kind of
reply
short reply
by using the
by
word so,
using the
neither or
word
nor,
so, neither or
or nor, and by putting the
by
auxiliary verb
putting the auxiliary verb
before the
before the
subject.
subject.
Yep. If there is no auxiliary verb, which verb do we use? Again, if there is no auxiliary verb, which verb do we use? If there is no
If
auxiliary
there's
verb,
no auxiliary verbs,
we use.
verb,
Yep, that's correct. We use
we
do
use do
in the short
in the
reply.
short reply.
Yeah, my mouth suddenly stops when there's something weird. Again, another reply to the following statements. Me statements. Statements. Again, reply to these following statements as if the same situation is true for you. Ready? Okay, I can speak English. I can speak English. So can I.
So can I.
I won't go there. I won't go there. Neither will I.
Neither will I.
I am a student. I am a student. So am I.
So am I.
I haven't got a car. I haven't got a car. Neither have
Neither
I.
have I.
My mother lives a long way from here. My mother lives a long way from here. So does mine.
So does mine.
If my best friend doesn't smoke, my best friend doesn't smoke, nor does mine.
Nor does mine.
Yay. Again, another. What do I mean if I say I can speak French and so can my mother? What do I mean if I say I can speak French and so can my mother? If you say I can speak French
If you say I can speak French,
and so can my
and so
mother,
can
my
my
mother,
mother,
you mean that
you mean that
you can speak
it
French,
can
you can
you
speak
can speak
French,
French,
and your mother can
and
speak
your
French
mother
too.
can French too.
Can
Can
speak French too.
speak French too.
Okay, right. Another. What about this one? Although sweets aren't good for the health, is it okay to have a bit of chocolate sometimes? Although sweets aren't good for the health, is it okay to have a bit of chocolate sometimes? Yes, although sweets
Yes,
aren't good
all those sweets aren't
good for the health,
good for the health.
it's okay to
It's
have
okay to have a
a bit
bit
of chocolate
of
sometimes.
chocolate sometimes.
But you don't have a bit, you have a lot. Yeah, right.
It's okay.
It's okay. Oh yeah, she's tall, guys, so maybe my a lot is a bit for her. Like another me, if you were an employer and what if your employees phone you to say, ma'am, for example, to say that they were feeling a bit ill, would you think there was a good enough reason for them not to come to work? Again, if you were an employer and one of your employees phone you to say that they were feeling a bit ill, would you think there was a good enough reason for them not to come to work? Yes, no.
Okay.
Yes, if I were an
Yes, if
employer
I were an employer
and one of my
and one of
employees
my
phoned
employees
me to
phoned me
say
to say
that they were
that they
feeling a
were
bit ill,
feeling
feeling
a bit ill,
yeah, I think that was
I'd
good enough.
think that
That was a good
that
enough
was a
reason
good enough reason
for them not
for
to come
them
to
not
work.
to come to work.
Yep. Okay, let's move down here. Okay, what's a snag? What's a snag? A snag
A
is small
snag is a
problem.
small problem.
Problem. Give an examples. Give an examples. I need to send him an email,
I need to send him an email,
but there's just
but
one
there's
snag.
just one snag.
My Wi-Fi isn't working.
My Wi-Fi isn't working.
Okay, another. Is your country usually defeated at football? Is your country usually defeated at football? No, my country
My country
isn't usually defeated at football.
defeated at football.
Yep, do you know which political party suffered defeat in the last elections in your country? Do you know which political party suffered defeat in the last elections in your country? No, I don't know
I
which
don't know
political
which
party
political party
suffered defeat in
suffered
the last
defeat
elections.
in
Defeat
defeat
in the last
in the last
elections.
election in my country.
Elections in my country.
Elections in my country.
What's a phrase? What's a phrase? A phrase is
A
a
phrase is
collection
a
of words
collection of words
that belong
that
together in
belong
a
together
sentence.
in a sentence.
Because together
Bec-
in a
in a
sentence.
sentence.
Yep, because together.
Beca- be
Because together.
because together.
Yeah, because together.
Together.
Yep, they form a
They
particular part of
form
the sentence.
a
They form a
they form a
particular part
particular part
of the
of the
sentence.
sentence.
I have a background here. The trucks. Yeah. Yep. Give examples. Give examples at high speed.
At high speed.
Yep. Or what about this one? What is the verb to mind? What does the verb to mind mean? The verb to
The
mind
verb to mind
means
means
to object to consider, to be careful of, and to look
and to
after.
look after.
What can we say to the other passengers before opening the window of a train or a bus? What can we say to the other passengers before opening the window of a train or a bus? Before opening the
Before
window
opening the window
of a train
of
or
a
a
train
bus,
or a
we
bus,
or bus. We can say to
We
the
can
other
say to
passengers,
the other passengers,
excuse me,
excuse me,
would you mind if I open
would
the
you
window?
mind if I opened the
The
window?
window? Yep. Again, do you mind if people smoke near you when you're eating in a restaurant? Do you mind if people smoke near you when you're eating in a restaurant? Yes, I mind
Yes,
if
I
people
mind if people
smoke near
smoking
me.
near me.
Smoke near
Smoke near
me
me
when I'm eating in a restaurant.
when I'm eating at restaurant.
In a
In a
restaurant.
restaurant.
And if you do my work, can you say? And if you do my work, can you say? If I do
If I
mine,
do mind,
I can say,
I
excuse
could
me.
say, excuse me.
I can
I
say,
can say,
excuse
excuse
me.
me.
But would you mind not smoking, please?
Would you
Would you mind
mind
not
not
smoking, please?
smoking, please?
Yep. And what does someone mean if they say, for example, "Don't mind me, carry on with what you are doing"? What does someone mean if they say, "Don't mind me, carry on with what you are doing"? If someone says,
If someone said,
"Don't mind me,
don't
carry
mind me,
on
carry on
with what you are
with
doing,"
what you're doing,
they
they
mean,
mean,
"Don't consider me,"
don't consider me,
or "Don't think about
don't
me."
think about me.
Yep. If you didn't mind what you said in public, what might happen? Again, if you didn't mind what you said in public, what might happen? If what
If,
might happen if I didn't
if I
mind
didn't mind
what I said in
what I
public,
said in public,
I might get into
I
trouble.
might get into trouble.
Yep. If a sign above a door says "Mind your head," what does it mean? If a sign above a door says "Mind your head," what does it mean? If a sign
If
above
a,
a door, if a
if
sign
a
above a
sign
door,
above
a door
the
says,
door,
a door
a
says,
door says,
"Mind your
mind
head,"
your head.
it means
It
that the
means
door
that
is
the door
low
is low,
and you must be careful,
but you must be
and you
and you
must be
must be
careful
careful
not to hit
not
your
to
head on
hit your
it.
head on it.
Yeah, must be careful.
You're okay.
Again, do you mind what other people say or think about you? That is it important to you? Again, do you mind what other people say or think about you? That is it important to you? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes, I mind what other
I'm,
people say.
I mind what other people say.
What other
What
people
other
say.
people say.
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 And think about
And think
me.
about me.
That is, it's
That is,
important to me.
it's important to me.
Why? Why? Because
Because
I can learn from them.
I can learn from them.
Another, when parents have to go out together in the evening, who usually mind their baby? When parents, you put letter S, okay? So when parents have to go out together in the evening, who usually minds their baby? I will repeat. When parents have to go out together in the evening, who usually minds their baby? When parents
When
have to
parents
go
have
out
to go out
together in the evening,
together
in the
in the
evening,
evening,
a babysitter
a
usually
babysitter usually
minds their baby.
mind the baby.
Minds their
Minds
baby.
their baby.
Yep. What's a child minder? What's a child minder? A child
A
minder
child
is
minder
someone
is someone
who looks
who
after a
looks
very young
after a
child
very young child
while the parents are at
while
work.
their
The,
parents
the
are
parents
the
are at work.
parents are at work.
Okay, what about this one? What does the idiom be into something mean? What does the idiom be into something mean? The idiom
The
be into
idiom be into
something
something
means have a
means
strong
have
interest
a strong interest
in something.
something.
Give an example. Give an example. Is most
Most
teenagers these
teenagers
days
these days
are
are
into computer
into
games.
computer games.
Computer
Computer
games.
games.
Yes, that's correct. So I bet that'll gonna be for your last few sentences here, questions in stage 7 as of the moment, right? So see you when you see me. Thank you so much for today.
Bye bye.
Have a good day. Bye.